So I know this percentage rate looks a little crazy, and I'd love to show you how to fix it, but that's a whole thing that's in Excel and how Excel shows the numbers. So sometimes what's interesting is Excel will actually format numbers like percentages, but they're actually decimals. And so we'll talk about that when we get to Excel, but that's not the focus of this lesson right now. The focus of this lesson is mail merge. So what we're gonna do is first, I want you to cycle through to the recipient number 17, Sid Taylor. And let's say Sid Taylor no longer needs to receive this letter, so we can actually exclude him by clicking exclude this recipient. Then you'll see if you try and cycle through the letters, that 16 pops to 18, and Sid won't get produced when we produce all the letters, either if we're sending him as an email or printing him off as letters. In this case, we're actually printing them off. In addition, if you cycle to number 2, so I'm actually going to go up to my ribbon right here and type in the number 2 and hit enter. Madison Powell has an extra space after her name. So first I want you to make sure that your Excel spreadsheet is closed, and we actually can edit the recipient list. When we go in here, when I want to click on here, you can see if I try and double click and edit this isn't working, because what I actually need to do is edit where the information is coming from. The information is being pulled from the Talano Personnel and Investment spreadsheet. So I'm going to go down to the data source and click it and hit edit. I can then go in here and see that if I type at the end of Madison's name, no extra space. Let's see, travel director. I don't know why they're giving us a space here in front or behind Madison Powell's name. It's weird how she has an extra space. So I'm just going to double check that there is no extra spaces here. Click OK. Hit yes to save my changes, click OK again, and it looks like she did have an extra space, but my screen was yelling at me the whole time. So I knew there was an extra space because I could physically see it. And if you cycle through, there were a couple other people who were like that too, I noticed. Sid Taylor was one of them. I noticed that Richard has an extra gap after his name on Richard Reeves, so we could go in here, edit the recipient list for Richard Reeves. So I could go down to Richard, make sure, see he does have a space at the end of his name. So I'm going to make sure at the end of his first name, I delete that space, click OK, save it, click OK, and I've edited the list. So you can go in and edit, you can change whole things, add more fields, all those types of things that you want to do, but you can do that from this step. You can also exclude people. And what I want to point out too is when you go to edit recipient list, notice Sid Taylor doesn't have a check mark anymore because he's excluded. So if you wanted to bring him back, you would just come in here and recheck him. And then you can go ahead and hit OK. And now Sid Taylor is back. All right, last step. Making the merge, right? Like we've got our letter, we've got everything looking the way we want it to look. I think what's important is that like formatting can come through too. So like if I want to bold their address block, I could bold it, and then every single person is bolded, even though it's a mail merge item. So formatting travels through as well, which is really nice. And we can go ahead and complete the merge to produce all the letters. Now, let's say I want to just straight print them. I know it all looks great. I want to send it to my printer and just print it immediately. That would be what print is. If you wanted to review every single letter first, or you were sending this out as an electronic document or whatever, you could edit individual letters. In this case, we're not printing anything, so we're going to edit individual letters. So I'm going to click that. It's going to ask me which records I want to merge. So do I want to merge every single person, all 47? Do I want to do just the current record? Or do I want to merge certain people, like numbers 1 through 30, right? In this case, we want to do everyone. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK. And it will actually pop up with a whole second document. Okay, so I want to point out, first we were working on investment letter. Now we're on letters 1, which is not a saved document. It's a document that Word produced that has not been saved to my computer. So before I go to letters 1, I'm going to go back to investment letter and I'm going to save this. And I'm going to save this because I've made a bunch of changes and I want those to travel through if I ever open up this merge and need to re-merge it again. Then for letters 1, if you look through it and you scroll through, every page will be each person. So you'll see a letter produced for each person. You could edit as needed. If you click on these, you'll notice they are not mail merge items. They are in fact text that you can come in and you could change and you could edit if you wanted to. So for instance, like I can scroll down to page 17 to where Sid Taylor is. And I can go ahead and adjust his name to not have a space right here. So I can remove this space real quick and move forward. So you can edit things after you've done that. And then you can also save this file. So I can go File, Save As, go to my folder, and I can name this Investment letter results. And then now I have two files. I have the actual physical investment letter where I put in all my mail merge fields. Notice they're gray when I click on them. And then I have my investment letters results, which shows all the letters of everyone that has been produced. And that is how you do a mail merge.